Welcome back to the Asylum. I'm Kane.
I'm Deshaun.
And we are the Arkham Inmates. And we are back for another classic Arkham Inmates video. We are doing, god damn boy, we're doing another top 10.
Boy like that.
Nah, don't turn it into that. It's
Yo,
boy like
fuck?
you're my boy. So, no. So we're doing a top 10 video. Last time we did the top 10 Marvel villains, top 10 DC villains. We're doing it off the rip. It's easy. So this time we wanted to come up with a little bit more spice, a little bit more specifics, get into something. So Deshaun came up with a very good idea. There you go. You like that credit? You like that? Little blue ribbon, bitch. So Deshaun came up with a great idea. A fantastic idea. A very awesome idea to do. Say that one more time. He did a great idea to do the top 10 wasted potential in the MCU. This is character-wise, so not like the movie was wasted or like, oh, Eternals was wasted or Ragnarok was whatever like that. And we're keeping it to the movies. We're not going to do TV shows. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Moon Knight was wasted, but you did get a whole, 9 episodes of Moon Knight. Like, you did get a good amount of Moon Knight as well as some other stuff. But we are doing the MCU movies. There's like 40, almost 50 films now in the entire series. We went through and picked the top 10 that we think were very underutilized, very wasted potential, either were created and didn't live up to what we wanted from the comics. Like, if you're going to put Wolverine in a movie, we expect Wolverine 100%. So if you give us a 30% Wolverine that's nothing like it, that's like, what the fuck were you doing? Or you introduce a character that's fucking awesome, and then you just take them out, kill them, or sideline them, and we never hear from them. Which I would say he's not on the list, but a good one would be the Leader, because without Brave New World, what was it, like 20 years? Or 15. I think he even said, he's like, I've been here for 15 years rotting. Yeah, like the Leader would be one of them, because at the end you get the whole thing with his head bubbling up, and then we never got anything with the Leader for 15 fucking years until Brave New World when we finally get the Leader. And even then I would say Leader could be on the list, but they used him correctly. But other than that, if you don't know how this goes, we go through the top 10 and we have the 2 honorable mentions. So we start with those and then we basically walk it down and we explain why they're on our top 10 list. If you're watching this early on Tuesday on the Patreon, can you like be healthy for once? So also let you know, this is our top 10. Do not get all pissy in the comments. Let us know down below what you think, where you would place people, and if we missed anybody on the list that should or should not be there. So, without further ado, let's get into the top 10. Alright, so starting it off with our first honorable mention. This one Deshaun said, and the reason it's an honorable mention is because they got a lot of screen time throughout the MCU, but then
I wouldn't even say a lot, but she's probably
a total amount would be
maybe like
more than some cameos.
Maybe 15. No,
I'd say 30 minutes.
No, I'd say like 10 minutes.
But yeah, we're talking about Maria Hill. I don't think we said her. So honorable mentions Maria Hill. The reason that she's honorable mention is because it's mainly Deshaun wanted to pick that because I don't really remember her
roughly 10 to 12 minutes of screen time across all MCU movies.
Really? That minimal?
They broke down every movie she was in and how long she was in it for.
Wow.
I told you.
That is so minimal because that's like 30 movies.
It's kind of, you literally said it, you're just not thinking. You literally said to me, every time I think of her, it's kind of like a cameo.
Yeah, because she's like there to help out with Fury. Like Fury, you could say is even a cameo.
But he has more than her. He has actual, dialogues and monologues. But because I was telling
you'd
Kane,
have to explain why she's honorable mention. And not
I was
on the
telling
list.
Kane, like in the comics, she just does way more. She's literally Fury's right hand. Like if Fury's not running Shield, she's the one running Shield. Like they answered her. Like everyone in Shield answers to her. The only person she answers to is Fury. Like that's his number 2. So like I don't know, for
I think
Fury
they did do the number 2 thing in MCU. It just wasn't idolized. Yeah, it wasn't like shown.
Yeah, there just wasn't enough oomph, like to the level that I know her from. I just know her as someone who's
a more prominent character.
Yeah. So whenever you show her, and she just kind of does nothing, and it's
but she does have she is a part of the MCU. You do know it. She does have her moments. She is very apparent when you're either there, and so it's not like she's like. They ruined her character, or they didn't. They
just need to do more with her.
Yeah, they could have done more with her. And then they killed her in Secret Invasion, so it was kind of like, oh, all right, that kind of sucks, But yeah, so she's an honorable mention just because like she did get her time. She was a part of the team, a part of Shield. They did utilize her character well for what it was needed for the MCU specifically, but it wasn't enough of a detriment to be a part of the top 10. So that's why. So let's move on to the next honorable mention. All right, so moving on to the last and the second honorable mention before we get on to the top 10. This is another one where it was someone that was introduced and then brought back, but it wasn't utilized in any way that we wanted it to, and just kind of like, why did you give us this character to do nothing with? And that is Harley Keener. If that doesn't ring a bell, I mean, trust me, it didn't ring a bell. I had to look it up. This is the little boy from Iron Man 3. This is the one that we all thought, well, Jashawn said Iron Lad. I didn't even know Iron Lad existed, but...
I know a lot of people wanted him to be Iron... Like, I knew nothing about...
The new Iron Man.
Like I knew nothing about Iron Lad either, like Kane. But whenever I saw online things about him, they were like, oh my god, we want this kid to be Iron Lad. We want this kid to be Iron Lad.
Or just some type of legacy character for Iron Man, like all he did helping in his engineering. We all thought he was going somewhere. And then at the end of Endgame, with spoilers, sorry, when Stark dies, we see at his funeral that Harley is, he's all grown up, and he looks like, he looks like he could be a young Stark again. He looks like he could be that. And we don't really see anything with that. We also, we haven't seen anything with Stark's kids or anything like with that. And so to have him be there to be like, oh, remember this kid? Like, he's at this funeral, maybe for phase... What phase was that? Well, one of the phase... It's either phase 4 or 5. But at the end of that phase, because Endgame was the end of the phase, and then we start the new one with Spider-Man Far From Home. That's the start of the new phase. So we all thought, hey, this new phase, this new stuff's coming out. Blade's supposed to be coming out. Eternals is coming out. All these brand new stuff is coming out. We might get to see this kid, take on the Stark legacy. But he just never did.
And not to talk shit, but I think I saw the most... stuff about this kid is when Ironheart was coming out.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, why is she even a character right now? Like, we have this kid. Why aren't we utilizing
Why aren't we utilizing the kid? Or why isn't even the kid a part of Ironheart? Like, why isn't he helping her out? Or like, hey, maybe he could be like, hey, I learned a lot of Stark stuff too. Let's figure something out, but they didn't. Yep. So, yeah. I mean, I finished Ironheart. It was a cool show. It definitely wasn't anything more than like a 6. It's a shaky 6. But doing the whole thing of like, we're gonna give this girl the reins of the Stark legacy, and then for them to constantly kind of shit on the Stark legacy, and then for them to like boost up
I think a lot of people would have accepted Ironheart a lot better if he played a part in it, because we already had a connection to this kid. Exactly. And like you said, if he was in that TV show, and
being
he was
a helping engineer,
like, hey, Tony would have done this. I knew Tony a bit. Like Tony was this.
I knew Tony without because she's like, what's Stark without the money? She didn't really know Tony.
Like, I feel like people would have been a bit more accepting towards this, because
it's not a bad show.
It was just. She's a random character.
I think it was the wrong time.
That's what I'm saying.
It was the wrong time because they introduced her in Wakanda Forever, and then they went
There's
right
no hard
into
R at the end of Wakanda, dude.
Wakanda Forever.
You said Wakanda.
No, I did not. I said
no hard
Wakanda
R
Forever
at the end of Wakanda.
Wakanda Forever. But yeah, that's going to be the honorable mentions. It's just that character was, I think he was made for the story. I don't think he's in the comics. But that character, like, it wasn't like a huge detriment. He served his purpose, and it was a nice cameo to see him at the funeral. But he could have been more. Yeah, but nothing to be on this list. This list has got some very wasted potential. So let's move on to number 10. All right, so for number 10, we have one that we definitely got enough screen time, but just as a character from the comics and what we expected, and definitely the actress portraying it, we just didn't get that oomph. We have Captain Marvel.
And I kind of said this one, so if you want me to take the lead on talking.
I'm just going to say my point first. Right. She does have a whole movie and then kind of half of a movie, as well as the stuff in Endgame, and she's very important for specific script notes, because for some reason the Russos made her like the little, like, the shining, like, this is the person that saves the day so that we can get to this, because Strange is like, there's only one way to do it, and you have to have Captain Marvel. But if you replace that character with any other character that's been prominent, it would have went the same. So I would just say, like, she's number 10 because they did her character, they gave her a shit ton of power, she holds her own against Thanos, and she definitely shines when they need her to, but that's only like 1% of the character Captain Marvel, which also Miss Marvel, like what she's based off of, is so like way more powerful. That's kind of what I was saying, agreeing why she's on the list, but she's lower on the list. So if you want to just take over from that.
No, that's everything I said.
Really? That's what you're gonna say?
That's everything I told you when I told her to fucking put on the list.
Well, I was saying where I was just saying that she was important to the movies because of that. You were saying that she wasn't important, really.
I was saying she's not important. You can't really say that she's important to the movies. Like, I get your point of...
Well, the Russos wrote it that way.
Yeah, they
wrote it to where Captain Marvel would save the day. And that's kind of
when you
the
said
only
that,
thing.
That was the point I made of, like, well, any other character could have kind of done what she did, and then that's...
It's just kind of hard, like, who could have done that, really. They haven't introduced anyone that has that power level yet. So you kind of get stuck with that. Also, I will say, with Captain Marvel, she's number 10 because I think Brie Larson did a good job at playing, like, Captain Marvel, but Brie Larson is a very... Like, I'm not a fan of Brie Larson just because of how she carries herself, like, in interviews, and when she got the role, she turned it very woke feminist, like, very, like, oh, I'm about to save these men. It's kind of like the whole Snow White thing that happened with Zegler and fucking Godot. But, like, I feel like you can kind of get that in the movie. Like, the scene where she was like, you got something for me, Parker? Or, like, you know, like, it's kind of like playing on the sense, or, like, when they do that whole thing with Thor, and then she's just like, how are we gonna win this time? Because you didn't have me. Like, I really don't remember Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel being like that in the comics. She's just very, like, general. She's like a general.
Another thing I was thinking was, like, when I think of Captain Marvel, like, whenever someone's talking about people, like, from the MCU, or not MCU, Marvel in general, who can kind of take on Superman or something like that. It's always,
heavy hitters.
Like, she's always in the talks of, like,
top
10,
5,
top 5, top 10
I would say top 5,
characters that maybe could take on Superman. So it's like when you have a character like that, and then you bring her to the MCU and you downgrade her,
water her down a lot.
You know, the level that you did, it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, she's not really doing anything insane. Yeah. Like, if she came in here and, like, 1-2 fucking uppercut did Thanos and like rocked his shit.
If you told me that MCU Captain Marvel was about to go fight MCU Wanda, I'd be like, okay. And, like, I would just, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm pretty sure Wanda's gonna beat her ass. So it's like,
I would even say that the MCU Wanda is extremely watered down.
So it's like,
yeah. I get that, but I definitely, that's why she's on the lower end of the list, because it's not like wasted. Like, it wasn't like detrimental to it. We still have her, but it's just like, you know, this character's high up here, and you gave us water. So, but yeah, moving on to number 9. Alright, so moving on to number 9. This one is more of a Deshaun take, just because I didn't watch the show fully. But the only reason he is on the list is just, well, Deshaun's about to take care of it. But to step in a little bit, he definitely has tons of screen time, and they used him in the MCU. But this is Hawkeye. Might be a hot take for some, but Deshaun, you go ahead with your points.
Hawkeye, like he said, he didn't watch the show.
Yeah.
So I was explaining to him, because if you're one of those people that are kind of like, what are you talking about? Kane was even like, what are you talking about? And I told Kane, like, we got that scene from Avengers Age of Ultron at the end where he's talking to Wanda. He's like, you know, we're fighting an army of robots, and I have a bow and arrow. Yep. None of this makes sense. It's like, dude, you're fucking Hawkeye. I get you have a bow and arrow, but I told Kane, like, in the show, he fucking... And I get Pym wasn't part of this yet, but he had a fucking Pym particle arrow. He shot an arrow in the sky, and then he had Kate Bishop. He's like, shoot at that arrow, and it said Pym on it, and it fucking turned into a big fucking arrow, and it went through a bridge. And, like,
I mean, you could also say, like, Hawkeye from the comics, who he's based on, is way more goated.
Even the comic book Hawkeye, he has all these trick arrows, which we saw at the end of the last episode of Hawkeye, when they're fighting on the ice. He has all these electrical arrows, ice arrows, putty arrows. He has he had arrows that fucking shrinks people.
Yep.
And then a little bird came and fucking took the bad guys.
Even you said the purple fudge, like,
they got the purple jelly shit. It's like, he was so underutilized in the terms of his technicality and his skills.
In the movies.
I feel like, in the movies.
Yes, because that's what we're doing. Like, the show, they did well.
I just feel like, hand to hand, I think they portrayed him very well.
Especially when he was it Roman, right? Yeah, because his hand-to-hand's well, and then like obviously like when I think of Hawkeye, because when he was explaining it, because I'm thinking they give him a lot of moments like in the first Avengers when he shoots at Loki and Loki's like and he blows Loki up, he shoots down, he does his grappling like, but there's also a lot of points where he's out of arrows all the time and he's like fuck, and he's trying to look for arrows, and then like you said, where they kind of turn him into a joke of like, I have a bow and arrow, none of this makes sense, and he's walking and he's like, I guess I'll run too, and he's kind of like when people think of the Avengers, they're like, who's gonna die first? Hawkeye, Black Widow, they're just human, they're just agents. So it's one of those things to where like Hawkeye from the comics, I would say, even from like other shows like Agents of Smash or Avengers Assemble or Earth's Mightiest Heroes, that motherfucker takes on the Hulk all the time. Like
that's what I was literally just about to say. Him and Hulk are good friends in that show.
Yeah.
And one of Hawkeye's, I think it was Hulk's first appearance and Hawkeye's first appearance and Black Widow's first appearance in that show was Black Widow and Hawkeye are going to take down the Hulk because Ross is trying to capture them, but S.H.I.E.L.D. wants them. Hawkeye's literally fucking shooting trick arrows at the Hulk. The whole like consistently just random ones, just fucking
trying to see what works.
Yeah, so it's like, where was that Hawkeye whenever the robots were here?
I can definitely agree, especially with what you're talking about in the show, and I know that's later, but like to have like to have like arrows that like you do it and then it connects like 4 other dudes and brings them in, explodes or some crazy shit like that. That's like because Green Arrow does it. Yeah. So like to have like, or like you have one arrow that splits into like 10, like that'd be cool.
That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah, split arrow, like those. So that's why he's on the list, because in the movies and like overall MCU, he's not dead yet, right? They didn't kill him or anything. No. So like overall in the MCU, like he's just not like, he's not peak Hawkeye. Like it's very watered down Hawkeye, but he's definitely not like, it's not like he's bad, and it's not like he's underutilized. Like for each movie he does great, and they use him great. It's just he could be like the show Hawkeye, which I guess I'm gonna have to watch because it seems fun. But so we're gonna move on to number 8. All right, so for number 8, we have somebody that I'm gonna have to explain a little bit. She got a tons of time as herself, but as this specific version and this character, it wasn't utilized well. This is Lady Thor. I will say / Jane Foster. As Jane Foster, I won't say she was wasted, but she was definitely underutilized. In the first movie, I think she did great. She was kind of the balance of Earth with Thor. But then in the Dark World, she kind of just became, we have to protect this lady because she's got the ether in her. She was just kind of like
Earth's Mightiest Heroes. She's a paramedic. She's not a
Oh, really?
He admires her because she doesn't have any
Well,
superpowers.
you know that the original Thor is a doctor. Do you know that? The original Thor is a surgeon, and like whenever he calls to it, his fucking umbrella that he takes in turns into Mjolnir. He's a doctor.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, the original Thor is a doctor, and then that's why he falls in love with Jane, who's the EMT. Yeah, because she brings it. Yeah. But so Lady Thor, and trust me, she's not the only character from this specific movie we'll talk about, but that's later on. But Lady Thor specifically, Jane Foster was kind of just like, she was just the love interest, and they just didn't really do anything. And after Thor kind of went to space and Ragnarok and all the things, they kind of just threw Jane to the curb until this last movie. And Jane Foster then became Lady Thor, but it was written specifically for the MCU to be like, the only reason she's Lady Thor is that she can combat cancer.
Yep.
And as long as she's Lady Thor, she doesn't have cancer, but every time she uses it, it increases her cancer by like 10 times, whatever they said, like it's killing her. So if she ever lets go of the hammer, and then that's why, spoiler alert, if you didn't watch Love and Thunder, which if you didn't, good for you, but she dies at the end, and it's a very, you watched it, dude. We watched it together. So she dies at the end because she lets go of the hammer because she stops Gore or whatever she does, and she sacrifices herself if she turns one more time. But I think it's a bit of a crutch because Lady Thor in the comics is actually pretty fucking badass, and she has her moments. What are you doing? Lady Thor is actually really dope, really badass, is just really sick, and also a partner to Thor, and like both of them have tons of comic books where they go off together and they're like badass, like Thor and Lady Thor and Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, and you have these awesome fucking adventures with these characters. You start this character off and then you kind of do her well and she's fighting and everything, but you don't give her like It'd be different if you had Jane Foster turned into Lady Thor a movie before, and then now with this whole movie where they're like kind of just swashing blows and back and forth and bam, 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 and you make her all powerful like Thor. But she's kind of just like, look what I can do, like, oh hey, like, oh I can fly. Like, it was kind of like I'm now the dumb person that has powers, and it's kind of annoying. And then she just dies at the end of it, and it sucks because now there's no more Lady Thor. So that one was kind of, you know, it's not higher on the list because it's not super detrimental because Jane Foster was a pretty good character throughout, but then to introduce Lady Thor and then just not have Lady Thor anymore was kind of a bummer. So, but we are gonna move on to number 7. All right, so for number 7, we have Shocker. Now, the reason Shocker is kind of in the middle is because for the MCU, I think it was another joke. It was more of a like.
Ooh, you're going around saying your name's the Shocker.
The Shocker. You shock people when you don't even shock people. Vulture was the main villain of Homecoming. We know that, but his little group of people like that would go and steal Stark's tech. He had Shocker, which they had the dude, the redneck looking dude, and he had the yellow on, and he was like, you know, he was the Shocker. And we were like, oh, cool, this might be a little hint at later in the future we might get Shocker as one of the main dudes, because, I mean, I would say Shocker
were excited, and then they swapped him out with a black guy. And then everything went downhill.
He's in the movie Devil. You ever seen that? So, but yeah, so he goes in and then they use him as a joke. He's like, oh, you go and shock people, huh? And he's like, oh, what if I go and tell people? And then Vulture kills him and he goes, here you go. Now you're the Shocker. And then you have the black dude go to Homecoming, and then he basically fights Parker for what, like 30 seconds, and then gets his ass whooped, and then he goes to jail. And then we don't see Shocker for the next 3 fucking Spider-Man movies. We never hear anything about anyone breaking out or becoming the Shocker. Not even any cameos or any news anchors of like the Shocker's been released or something like that. And it sucks because, I mean, I like Shocker. I think Shocker's an awesome character for Spider-Man. I like his power set. I like the things, especially the iterations we got. We're watching Spectacular Spider-Man right now. I really love Shocker in that. Shocker's one of my favorite of the Sinister Six. Like, Vulture in that I think is worse than Shocker. I actually don't like Vulture in Spectacular Spider-Man. He's not that well of a character. But Shocker in this, you got the cowboy, and he's like, what are you gonna do, bug? And I love the green. I love that he can vibrate his suit. I love that he can, like, when Spider-Man webs him up, he can, like, you know, get out of it.
Hey,
you and these AOs. That should be a shirt. Hey, yo. What do you got me watching, man? What do you got me watching? But, it's one of those things to where Shocker, I think, is would you say top 5 Spider-Man villain or no? Top 10?
For me personally?
Like, top 5 Spider-Man
top
villains?
Top 10, for sure.
Top 10 for sure.
But
like, top 5, like Green Goblin, Sandman. I would say Green Goblin, Sandman, Doc Ock, Electro. I like Shocker more than Scorpion.
I like Kraven a lot. I do.
But would Kraven be on your top 5 more than mine? I'm saying, like...
Yeah.
I'm saying Green Goblin... Like, Kraven would be on mine, so he'd be on yours, but would Shocker still be there? Would it be, like...
On top 5?
Yeah, so, like, Green Goblin, Kraven,
that's what I'm
Shocker...
saying. He would be top 10, but I don't think Shocker would be top 5.
I think, for some people, he'd be top 5.
Yeah.
I think he's a cool... I mean, like, we have one of the most famous lines of, like, get back here, Shocker!
Yeah.
Shocker! Like...
Yeah, just not me, though.
No,
Yeah, some people might, but I don't.
I don't know if he's top 5 because like would Rhino be more? Because Rhino's more famous.
It's not. But it's favoritism. It's favoritism for me. It's
but
not
I'm just saying, like, as famous. Like when you think of the Sinister Six, do you think Shocker every time? Because you got Vulture, Electro, Rhino, Doc Ock. I
think Shocker, but for me, it's favoritism. Like I said,
yeah,
Shocker's cool, but.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it makes sense for in this, when you introduce the Shocker, and we're like, oh shit, because we got Electro and all this stuff on No Way Home. Like, when you have the Shocker, and then you just kind of throw him away like he's just a joke character, that was upsetting me personally, because, like, Shocker's one of those, like, let's say if you were, like, more, it would be dope if, like, let's say you started Far From Home, and, like, before he goes on the trip where he's, like, stopping the dude with the bikes, if, like, Shocker was blowing up a bank or something like that, and he goes, Herman, really? And he goes, the name's Shocker, kid. And he's just like, all right, Shocker. And he's just like he webs him up, and you start off with Shocker, and, like, then you start off No Way Home.
Yo, he webs him up and he starts him off?
Yes. You start off the movie, and then let's say No Way Home, where he's trying to figure out his identity, and then Shocker comes up and, like, tries to attack Peter, and Peter has to get away, and then he has to web up Shocker again. It's one of those things to where, like, if you was a reoccurring person getting out of jail and you had Shocker, kind of like with Spectacular Spider-Man, how in the beginning, like O'Hearn
keep getting webbed up.
Yeah,
like Spider-Man.
That's what I'm saying. Like a reoccurring villain.
A reoccurring web up.
I hate you, dude. I hate you. He was wasted. So let's move on to number 6. All right, so for number 6, we have Crossbones. So we are almost to top 5, but the reason Crossbones didn't make a top 5 is just because he's kind of middle of the thing. Yeah. They started his character in Civil War?
Yep, Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War.
We saw him in Winter Soldier, but he was.
We saw his character. We saw Frank Grillo around being a part of Hydra and the whole thing, and we got like why he wants to beat Captain America. But his fight was like what, a minute? And then Scarlet just whoa, and then blows his ass up. And it's one of those things to where I actually like the suit. Yep. The suit looked good. Like the fucking
fake arms.
The mech arm things. Yeah, the exo arms where he was able to get the punches. And he was keeping up with Cap. Like that fight, I really like that choreography. I really like that fight. It was going well. And Crossbones.
It was a good fight. It was such a good fight that he had to throw him off mentally to get the edge because he was just on par with him. He mentioned Bucky, that's how he got the edge. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not even like they were just fighting and Cap had the edge.
I really also Frank Grillo I think's perfect, like voice and perfect look, and like especially when he takes his mask off, he's all fucked up.
And now he plays like a shitty like DC character, I guess.
Oh,
I don't remember.
No, he's Flag. He's Sergeant Senior Flag.
Oh,
Flag
yeah,
Senior.
that shitty fucking character.
Shut up. You actually like this character. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Nah, don't even right. You're wearing Superman right now.
What?
Yeah, stupid. So yeah, I really like Frank Grillo, and like I feel like they could have done something other than killing him for them leading into Scarlet Witch doing something else other than that. Like
grilled the Frank.
Dude, I wish we kept Crossbones because
we kept him reoccurring like he is in the comics with.
Same thing with Shocker. It's kind of in the same boat of like Crossbones is always reoccurring. He works for Claw. He works for the Nazis. He works for fucking everybody. Yeah, he works for Hydra. He works for everybody.
He works for Nazis?
Hydra's Nazis.
What?
I can't do this with you right now. It's already 1 in the morning.
But we hail Hydra.
No, we do not. So
in our spare time.
No, we don't. I know you've said it many a times in that mic, but not me.
Don't we do
I'm
this?
Cap all day, baby. Cap all day.
Don't we like
do? Okay.
That's what you did. You
no,
just went
I went like this.
No, you didn't. You went like this.
No, you're a Nazi right now. I went like this, like America, like salute. I did not do that.
I saw this.
I didn't.
No, I did not do that. Thing?
No, you're doing this Elon Musk shit. I went like this, Cap. America first. That's America's ass. I did not do that.
Oh no, dude.
Don't fuck you, dude. So, yeah, but that is it for the first 5, and that is the least 5. We are now going to get into the top 5. These are going to be the ones where the character was severely misplaced, like completely missed the mark, or they were just completely unused at all. So let's get into number 5. All right, so for number 5, starting it off for the top 5, this one, the reason he is not higher up on the list is just because...
It's MODOK.
Okay, thank you. Yep. All right. It is MODOK. Wow, there you go. So, MODOK, the one reason why is they turned him into a joke.
Yep.
So, in the comics, it is like, I get why it's a joke. He's a giant floating head. But in the comics, he is vicious as fuck. He is an evil piece of shit. Like, They
portrayed it exactly how they portrayed him in the beginning before we learned it was Darren. Is what we expected from MODOK. Like when we saw the flashbacks and we saw MODOK.
Dude, I remember watching the trailer, and when we saw the mask of like the face and he had the saws and the crazy shit, I was like, oh fuck, we're getting MODOK.
Yeah.
Like literally machine made over killing something. He was like made only to kill. Like that's what it is. As much as I love MODOK, one of my favorite versions of MODOK is Superhero Squad, where he's always screaming. He's always like, my intellect, I'll get, like, he's always just yap. But yeah, so the MODOK that I know and I grew up with is just a screaming psychopath that only cares about being the ultimate genius and killing people. And he's also worked with Doom a lot. So to go to Ant-Man Quantumania and to see MODOK, and then he's just...
To do this all
oh my god. To the whole movie. Do it. No.
Put the mask on with CGI. There you go. You got the role. You got the role.
Yeah. I want to be Ant-Man. Okay, dude. Yeah. I'm telling, and in the giant I do understand that when you do the character MODOK, right? And it's a giant head. Like, it's going to be fun. Like, it is going to be weird, right? Like, to see it live action.
I'll show you live action.
No, okay. But what I'm saying is that, do you think that there was any other way they could have done it to where it wasn't that fucking... Like, obviously, tone down on the jokes. But, like,
yeah, 100%.
the giant stretched face, what do you...
No, they didn't need to show the face. They could have just used the voice of Darren. Make it more familiar. Be like, Darren? And then just use that fucking killer look that we saw in the trailer. And I think
even though in the comics it's just a giant head like his face.
They could have done something a bit more to make it look less fucking like a penis.
Stupid. Yeah.
A bit more serious, a bit more.
But everything was a joke. Like, I don't want to be a dick, and he's like, I'm not a dick. Like, it was such like you took this awesome character.
Like, you can make
keeping
him
the shield on, looking mean as... I know, I think the shield was great. I think he looked good.
Even without the shield, I mean, the face, you could have
You could scarred it up,
yeah.
Make it look bloodied, all fucked up his eyes. One's big, one's small. You can make it look fucked up. Yeah. But they just... I guess it's funnier to just have a stretched actor's face and then turn him into the, oh, I don't want to be a dick. And then like, yeah, you're a dick. And like, they just ruined it. And then, here's another thing. They kill him. They fucking kill him. They don't keep MODOK. They don't save MODOK and have MODOK go and create... Because here's the thing. MODOK goes and creates AIM, and then AIM becomes another one of Hydra's fucking agents. They make so many other supervillains that Avengers have to fight. So now you have a whole area of AIM and the fucking hazmat people you don't even get to do. You don't even do any of that. I think they tried. Did they do AIM with Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3? Was he the leader of AIM?
No.
The crazy dude with the fire powers?
Oh wait, yeah.
That was AIM, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was AIM.
Wait, so they did do AIM. They just didn't do it with MODOK.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I take that... Was that AIM?
Look it up. I think that was
Hold on. Aldrich Killian is the leader of AIM. Okay, so that was AIM. Okay, then I take that back. I guess they did do AIM, but it's not the fucking AIM from the comics, and it's not ran by MODOK, and MODOK's the one that runs the mechanics. So... Damn, that whole thing was underutilized then. Fucking AIM entirely. Well then, yeah, that's a double fucking dagger right there. Yeah, like MODOK, the reason he's not more on the list is because the ones above him really got fucking shafted, but this is a good number 5. So without spending too much time on that, let's move on to number 4. All right, number 4. Moving on to, this is definitely one of the biggest hot takes for, well, no. Hot take would be opposite. I think everyone agrees with this from Age of Ultron. This one is Quicksilver, the MCU Quicksilver. This one hurts because I personally, I'm a huge X-Men fan. Quicksilver is one of my top 5 favorite X-Men of all time. I love speedsters. I love the Flash. I love Zoom. I love Quicksilver. I love speedsters, the fast running, especially with how goated he was in X-Men Days of Future Past and Apocalypse, like the way that the X-Men used him. But in this, like, the main reason is because you severely watered down how fast Pietro can go.
Yep.
You took away the mutant side of him and made him just a scientific anomaly by the Russians. And then you killed him
with bullets.
Yeah, you killed him with bullets. Like, he saves Hawkeye by moving a car in front of him. Also, he can move a car.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like, he can move a whole fucking car, but he can't dodge fucking bullets. And if so, why couldn't you move the car behind the car and just hit all the bullets? Or another thing, you know what Quicksilver does in X-Men? He literally, he grabs the bullets out of the air and moves them.
Oh, yeah.
He literally moves them. And in the comics, he literally flicks bullets. Because their momentum's still in that moment. He literally flicks bullets off because it's nothing.
Phase through shit in, like, cartoons and stuff?
Yeah. Like, he can phase through stuff, but he can't go...
comics, but I'm saying, have we seen that in cartoons?
No, he hasn't phased through anything. But he can definitely phase, but it's not like the Flash. Flash can, like, phase through the ground. He can't do it. He can, like, kind of phase through things, like, quickly, but he can't, like, speed force that shit. But, like, he can flick bullets!
Yep.
So, like, why the fuck... I don't even remember how many of the bots were shooting at them. Like, what, 4?
It was, like a gun. It was, like, one of those, like, helicopter guns, I think it was one of those guns.
Oh, that's right. It was a gunship. Yeah, but like when we even seen it when he's in when they first introduce it and Quicksilver's going in and punching Thor, we even see it. Captain America's literally frozen. Everyone's frozen. He's just running, pops Captain America in the face. You see Thor's going up. Like, he moves fast as fuck.
Yeah.
But he can't fucking flick the bullet. Like, you kill him in the dumbest way. It's not like he was like you could have had it to where he had to save his sister and he saves Scarlet, but like he has to like throw her off and he just falls to his death, or something where speed isn't hindered. Like, let's say he broke his leg, or or Ultron was able to get him and he shot him in the fucking leg and he can't run, but he uses his last speed and he gets shot then, or something like that. But nope. And then they do it to play a joke. Bet you didn't see that coming. And then he dies. And it's like the dumbest thing. And here's another thing. Why would you kill Quicksilver when you could have easily introduced the X-Men through him? You could have easily introduced Scarlet and Quicksilver as the X-Men. We were all ready for it. We all saw the trailer for Age of Ultron, and we're like, holy fuck, we're getting Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver? We're getting X-Men? We're getting mutants this early? And then for them to be like, oh, no, mutants don't exist. I mean, I don't know about you, I was upset. Like, when they were like, oh, they're not mutants, they're enhancements or whatever, that. And I was like, so we're not getting mutants? Like, you didn't have to do, like, their Magneto's Children line. You didn't have to do that. You could have just been like, this is the introduction. Because then, how many years later did they introduce Miss Marvel? And she's the first mutant. Yep. Well, like 5 years later? Not even? Like
5 years. I thought it was
after Age of Ultron?
Wasn't it a little longer than 5 years?
Like, yeah, still though, like, you could have introduced them as mutants. You could have been like, what are they? And they're like, oh, we don't know. You could have even said they're not from this dimension. We've already had interdimensional shit. Like, it's so annoying that you put in an awesome character. And then here's the thing that pissed me off. I know we're not including shows, but since you brought up the Hawkeye stuff, I'm gonna bring it up. In WandaVision, we then get the whole Quicksilver joke with Evan Peters. So what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? So you're gonna give us Quicksilver and then take us Quicksilver away in the most dumbest way, but then you're gonna go and make a show and you're gonna have the joke of Pietro and having Quicksilver in, which is the goated Pietro, which is Evan Peters, and you do this whole thing to where you can do Quicksilver and you have a speedster, but then you take the speedster away. Do you know how awesome it would have been if we could have had Quicksilver fighting Thanos or moving through with the speedster? Yeah, so Quicksilver is number 4 just because like where MODOK was used as a joke and was used terribly, the character isn't as massive to like for people to be like, yo, what the fuck, even though we like MODOK. But Quicksilver is a beloved character. X-Men used him a year earlier, way better. And then you introduce it, and the only reason, like you said, is IPs. Fucking Fox was like, no, you can't use X-Men. That's us. And you can't use mutants. You can't use Quicksilver. And they couldn't even use his name Quicksilver. They just kept calling him Pietro because they couldn't. And that's one of the shitty things. It's like with Gotham with Jerome. We know what Jerome was, but you can't call him Joe. Oh, you can't do that because it's IP infringement. And it just fucking sucks that, oh, we can't keep him in here because Fox is going to run through us. And you know what sucks? Now Disney owns Fox. But I'm saying Disney now owns the X-Men. So now I'm telling you right now, we better get Quicksilver again. We better get another version of Quicksilver or something like it, because we're getting Scarlet Witch back. Or what? Or I'm gonna stop watching. I'm not buying my ticket. How about that? You hear that, Marvel? Not doing it. Yeah, one of the biggest wasted potentials for me personally was Quicksilver. I love speedsters, and for you to not utilize a speedster, it just sucks. So let's move on to the top 3. All right, so moving on to the top 3. Now, these 3 are definitely the most wasted, underutilized, or just completely botched versions of these characters in the MCU. And they also didn't last long, and they didn't have any impact. So we're going to move on to number 3. I think this is a comfortable spot because the top 2 are very, very botched. But this one is Taskmaster. And oh boy. Yeah. I mean...
Like we said, it's nothing like the character. Me and Cam were talking about it, obviously.
If you want to do the whole woman thing, that aside, like, does it matter if it's a man or woman? No.
It's just they casted this lady who's supposed to be the daughter of the fucking...
Red Room dude.
The Red Room dude.
Yeah.
And then she got all fucked up because of Natasha.
And she can't speak.
But she can't speak.
Taskmaster literally talks shit all the time about how he's the baddest and he can copy anybody.
Yeah. So then she learns to speak a little later on. We hear her voice in Thunderbolts. But it's like, okay, it's not like Taskmaster being a smartass.
But here's the thing. We didn't even see, like, let's see. Black Widow, right? Should Taskmaster be the villain of Black Widow? No. I don't think so. knowing Taskmaster, I would prefer, you know what I would have preferred? If Taskmaster was like the villain of, like, Brave New World. Like a Captain America villain. Because he's got the shield, he's got, like, the whole thing with him. You got the skull look. Also, I will say this, the look of Taskmaster, hate it. I hate it. Taskmaster's supposed to have the fucking big white hood, the fucking skull, you know, the fucking mean-looking skull with the eyes. She just had, I mean, I don't even remember it. It's just a like, mask, right? It's not even a skull.
She had a hood.
But it's not a skull, though.
No, it's not a skull.
Let me look it up. I need it. It's completely off. It's like, when they were like, oh, this is Taskmaster, it was like, yeah, come on.
Yeah, she had the hood.
Yeah, the like, modern, it's not even
it's
like
blacked out. It's like, not white.
Also, the blue and the orange, it's like...
Because Taskmaster, isn't it white, kind of?
If you go to the actual... For one, the story behind it, it just waters it down. I get you're trying to modernize, but you could have went with a mean-looking, comic accurate... You could have done a helmet, but then the helmet has, like a Ghost Rider, like, you know, like, something like that. You could have done something so fucking sick, and you gave us this, like, just... This fucking... It honestly looked like fucking Snake. You know G.I. Joe?
Yep.
It looked like Snake Eyes. That's what it was. It was a G.I. Joe character. And then on top of that, the fighting character, like the fighting and choreography was cool, but I think she was... Dude, the fighting in Thunderbolts was great. When she's doing the shield thing and they bounce the shield up. And then what does they do? They shoot her in the head.
Right then and there.
Right then and there. 10 minutes into the Thunderbolts, they killed Taskmaster. And you know why? Because everyone hated it. They know why they did that. It's one of those things to where it just sucks that you have such an awesome badass character. And also another thing, Taskmaster is literally hand-to-hand combat with every single character except two. You know who those two are? Moon Knight and Deadpool. Everyone else is get the smoke. Captain America has trouble fighting Taskmaster. Spider-Man has trouble fighting Taskmaster. Wolverine... Anybody, Daredevil has trouble fighting Taskmaster. That's one of those things. They have trouble. Yes, he does. What are you talking about? There's been many times where Daredevil has literally been copied by Taskmaster, and they fucking don't even.
He just switches it up.
Nah, don't even. Moon Knight is the only one, and that's because Moon Knight has 3 separate, different ways of fighting all at once, and Deadpool doesn't even fight. Deadpool just does random shit, so Taskmaster can't even do that. I would have preferred if he was one of the Thunderbolts. He would have been a sick fucking Thunderbolt, but nope. You had to kill her in the first 10 minutes. That made no fucking sense. I mean, it makes sense financially, but it made no sense for the onward. It was so much wasted potential there. But let's move on to the top 2. All right, so we are with a top 2. Now, you could say these are interchangeable.
Gore, the God Slayer, is number 2.
No, it is Gore, the God Butcher, you dumb fucking bitch. Dumb bitch. It is Gore, the God Butcher.
It's Gore.
So, the reason that Gore is number 2 is only because we think the first one, the entirety of that character got botched. But with Gore, the God Butcher, he was just in the wrong movie.
Yep.
That's really what it was. Christian Bale... I mean, everyone says he did a good job for what it was. I think he did a good job for the script, but, like, do I wish we could have seen someone else in the role? Yes. Maybe, like, Mads Mikkelsen. Maybe someone, like, a little bit more evil-looking. Someone more just, like, imposing.
I thought he did perfectly.
For that movie.
I think he did well.
I think Christian Bale did well. Because he was, like, in the comics, Gore is kind of like Darkseid. He's just this cold... overbearing, just like I'm going to end all gods. He's just the Thor God Butcher line is so just nasty and vicious, and Gore is literally feared by all gods. Even Thor is like, I do not want to scrap with this motherfucker. And he's just this. And when and another thing is you also introduce the All Black, which is the first thing. His sword, the All Black. That's literally the beginning of Null's sword. That's when Null's sword of the All Black is given to Gore, and that's what makes him so powerful. That's the beginning of the symbiotes. So when you introduce that sword into... Dude, you know what I'm talking about. When you
hope I do.
Yes, you do. When you introduce that sword, and you have Gore wielding it, it's like Null. Like if you introduce Null like they did with Venom 3 and you do nothing with it sucks because the All Black is one of the most powerful fucking weapons in the universe.
Goddamn right
and it literally goes and creates all the symbiotes. It's the first
right we do.
It's the first symbiote. Don't say we do, bro. It is the first symbiote. So not only did you water down Gore and made him this kind of like Joker-fied dude where he's laughing and he's like, and he moves in these shadows. You then put him in a movie that's surrounded by dog shit. And we already had Lady Thor on this, but this whole movie is surrounded by dog shit and it's just dumb. And then you had Gore just being just so underutilized, not powerful enough. And he's on this venture to go save his daughter when in the comics, he doesn't give a fuck about anything except killing all gods. That's what he wants to do. He's not trying to make it to eternity to wish his daughter back. They're not trying to stop him. He is on a he's on a widespread genocide. That's what it is. He's on a fucking massacre. And to make him as scary as possible, I think they did well at making him this scary antagonist, but they could have went way harder. They could have made him way scarier. And then you introduce the all-black sword for nothing. For nothing. It is literally the symbiote sword. It's the sword that Null wields, and it's what introduces Carnage, Toxin, Venom, all of the symbiotes that introduces the black suit for Spider-Man. And you just say, fuck it, throw it all away, and put it in a terrible Thor movie. Terrible. It is so wasted. And then you kill him! And then you kill him! You don't even do this thing where he lives or he gets defeated and then he's put in Asgardian jail to break out or anything. You kill Gore in one movie? And you kill him in the dumbest way. He literally gets defeated by Thor and he's bleeding out and he makes his one wish and then he dies after the one wish. It is... Why would you do that to Gore? When we saw the trailer and we saw that dead fucking beast and we're like, that's the cover of Gore, and we're all like, oh my god, Christian Bale's the Gore, the God Butcher. Literally, you can't have name Gore the God Butcher and then we get that. You just can't. It is, oh my god. They could have went so much harder with him and they didn't, and it sucks. But he's not number one because I think number one, that character, from the build up and from what we could have got, and definitely with what happened in real life, with all the shit. But let's move on to the number one most wasted character in the MCU. All right, here we are, the number one, numero uno.
It's Kang.
It's Kang. Yeah, you didn't know it's Kang. Thanks, Jay. Number one, the most wasted character in the MCU is Kang. Kang the Conqueror. Kang.
It's Kang.
The Timeline
Jonathan
Ripper.
Majors.
Jonathan Majors.
Beat the shit out of his wife.
No, he did. No, stop. No, listen. No.
Beat the fuck out of her, dude.
He did not do that. We all saw the video. Yes. So Kang. Oh my God. Is this Disney's fault? Really?
Kang the woman beater.
Is this Disney's fault entirely, or is it? I mean,
yeah, it's Disney's fault.
Like Loki.
It's a little bit of both. I think because not too many people know enough about Kang, and the way that they were prepping him up was a lot of confusion. I feel like.
Really?
Yeah, for me, I was like, what are we doing here? Like, even after watching fucking.
Yeah, but like in Loki, they did the whole thing of like once the timelines rip out.
Yeah. For Loki, it's fine, but I'm talking about once we saw that Ant-Man movie. At the end,
Quantumania.
Everyone's all fucking cheering and shit. It's like, well, what are we doing here? Who's like really in charge here? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, because like I will say, like, if you don't read the Kang Dynasty comics, if you don't know anything about Kang, then you're kind of, I would say, like, so there's like a million of him.
Yep. For
what reason? Like, and then you have the Egyptian one, the Roman one, the crazy looking one. Like, you have all these versions of him, but for what purpose? And like, I think in Loki, having him be the creator of the TVA. Having him be the creator of everything, I really like the Kang version in Loki, where he's just like, I'm just the keeper of everything, and like, he's that idea where he wants to die, he doesn't want to die, he's a part of this, he's not a part of this, what is he really here for, what is he not? Like, I love what they did in Loki, and they built him up, but he didn't really do a lot in Loki.
So be his wife.
They didn't, oh my god, Jay. They didn't really do a lot with him in Loki, and so, when you have Ant-Man Quantumania, and we're like, oh, this is the Kang. This is the Kang that we're all gonna fear. And here's the thing, Jonathan Majors, I think, killed it. Yeah. I think he did a phenomenal job.
To kill it.
I think, well, yeah, until they shafted him, I think he did a great job. I think he was scary. I think the one thing with, I think the one thing is that I don't think they showed his power level super well.
Yeah, that's also
like.
They kept trying to show his intelligence.
Yeah, like super
also
intelligent.
Smart,
he's
but it's like, dude.
Well, when you say, he's like, oh, I've killed millions of Ant-Man, or I've killed millions of Thors. Like, oh, you're not the first Thor I killed. Like, he's done this, and then he gets defeated by ants, like a swarm of ants.
So
and he gets overwhelmed.
I've beaten
like
wasps millions. I've beaten your wife millions.
Yeah,
times.
I've killed tons of Avengers.
Yep.
And then we have just giant ants taking over. Oh, overwhelmed. And then he gets sucked into the fucking, what is it?
Hey, come on,
Nah,
dude.
shut up. He gets sucked into the
Yo,
fucking quantum
come on.
realm. No, yeah. Fuck you, bitch. He gets sucked into the quantum realm and he just gets disappeared, destroyed. And then at the end of Quantumania, you have, did we defeat Kang? I mean, we did defeat Kang. I mean, he said an army is coming. I mean, everything's fine, right? And then, but then, now there's no more Kang. Now you have tons of fucking, you have all this buildup.
Whoa!
Loki season 1.
Tons of
Loki season, you're fucking me up. Shut up. Loki season 1. Loki season 2. Ant-Man Quantumania.
CZ1.
You had hours and hours
Play
and
it
hours.
back like 2 seconds. He says CZ1 and
No.
CZ2.
No.
I promise you he does.
No.
And when he's watching this, he's
No,
going
shut
to
up.
rewind
No.
it back when he's
I'm just gonna
editing.
cut it out.
He says CZ1 and CZ2.
No, shut it. Because of you. It's because of you. Literally, Kang was so underutilized. Like, absolutely, like, completely wasted.
I think they portrayed him best in Loki CZ1
Yes.
at the end
And season 2.
of CZ.
I like when they're going through
Season-
time and they have the dude that helps them write it and they do all the things and then it allows. I love the versions of him. But when you have this build up to where you have all of these Kangs around the Coliseum and they're all like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to bring the end of days. All timelines are going to end. And you have this to where it's like, okay, now what are they going to do? What are the Avengers going to do against someone that can literally obliterate the timelines? Like, what are you going to do? And you just do nothing. Now there's nothing. Now all that Kang scene, the only thing they can do is bring Jonathan Majors back for one scene, and it's at the beginning of Doomsday to where they have Doom kill all the Kangs and take their power. That's the only thing. You have Kang be killed by Doom and his power harnessed by every single Kang, and now Doom is God Emperor Doom. That's the only way you do it, is you lead into God Emperor Doom by killing Kang. Because now you have one of the biggest fucking what ifs. You have the biggest fucking thing ever. What if Kang actually worked out? Like, and it sucks because I actually liked Kang. Like in Quantumania, I think Jonathan Majors killed it. I think he made it scary. It's like, oh, what the fuck is Kang gonna do? Like, he's this timeline ripper. Like, it's gonna be crazy.
I was less scared, more of on the edge of like, well, what the fuck is Kang gonna do?
Yeah.
Because they kept doing shit like, I don't know what the fuck
Yeah.
this nigga gonna do, bro. Besides beat on his wife. What's gonna happen?
Yeah. All right, there it is. Yeah. So that is our number one. That is why, like, he is just out of the entire MCU. It's
He's our
just the
favorite.
way that it goes. It's the most wasted potential possible. There is a bunch of other characters that we kind of looked at, but I think during the MCU, like, what they were used for is perfectly for that part. But yeah, it's just Kang. Come on, it sucks. We all know what happened to Kang. We all know why the dynasty did not get put through, and it sucks because that character was built up for what, 2 years? Almost 3 years. You had, season 1 and season 2, that's 2 years right there. And then Quantumania took a while to, like, you've had 3 years of building up Kang. Even in when Shang-Chi is like, oh, the rings are calling, it was calling to Kang.
Yep.
Now they're going to replace it, oh, it's calling for Doom. That's what they're going to do. But you have this build up for the biggest villain after Thanos, and it completely washed out. So that's why it's one of the wasted ones. So that is our list. What did you think? Did you think it was good? Do you agree with the top 10? Do you think some people should be on it? Do you think some people shouldn't be on it? Do you have a completely different other list than ours? That's why it's a beauty of the comment section. So please put that down there.
Thank you for being one of the
and don't
members
bitch
of the Asylum. Peace.
Yeah, he wants to get out of here quick. So thank you for all the Patreon members. Thank you for everyone directly supporting us, and thank you for doing it at the top 10. And we will see you in the next one. And we thank you for being one of the inmates here at the Asylum. Peace.